YouTube, what is up? It's above me. I'm your boy, The Cloud. Wherever you at in the world, you already know I'm sending you great vibes and positivity. We got another week of NFL predictions. Week 9, I went 8-14 on predictions. Week 10, we're moving up. I went 11-14 on predictions. But before we get into that, please be sure to share the video, leave a like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. What is your team going to do this week? What teams do you think are going to get upset? And drop some predictions down below on who you think is going to win this week. Now, run that intro. All right, so week 10 of the NFL season is officially over. Last week, I went 11-14 on predictions. So let's take a look at the big board and see how I did. So starting off the week with Thursday Night Football, we had the Bears going against the Panthers in a snooze fest where the Bears won 16-13, giving me my first win of the week. Colts beating the Patriots early in the morning 10-6 in another snooze fest. Next, we have the Browns in a comeback win beating the Ravens 33-31. Then we have across town our division rivals, the Steelers beating the Packers 23-19, and I also took the Steelers. Next, 49ers and Jaguars. I ended up taking the 49ers, and the 49ers won 34-3. Next, I took the Saints to beat the Vikings, and the Saints took a L here 19-27, giving me my first loss of the week. Then another division rival, I took the Texans and the rookie CJ Stroud to beat the Bengals, and they won 30-27. Then the Titans are terrible. I took the Buccaneers to win, and the Buccaneers pulled it out 20-6. Next, I took the Detroit Lions to beat the Chargers, and the Detroit Lions pulled it out late 41-38. Now, in my previous video, I said if Kyler Murray was not playing, I was going to take the Falcons, and he had not been ruled in at the time. But I also said if he was ruled in, I was taking the Cardinals, and he ended up being ruled in. So we're going to take that as a win. Shout out to Kyler Murray getting his first win of the season, the second win for the Cardinals, and they won 25-23. Next, I took the Cowboys to beat the Giants. I also took the Cowboys in my Survivor League, and the Cowboys ended up getting the win 49-17 versus the Giants. Next, Commodores versus Seahawks. Lionel Richie and the guys were not on my pick list this week. I picked the Seattle Seahawks to get the win, and the Seattle Seahawks won 29-26. So next, we're ending the week with two losses. I lost in Sunday Night Football, taking the Jets over the Raiders, and the Raiders ended up pulling it out 16-12. Then I also took the Broncos to lose on Monday Night Football versus the Bills, and the Broncos actually pulled it off 24-22, ending week 10 11-14. Now, going into week 11, I'm trying to make sure I really think out these picks and try to go as close to perfect as I can. So, who am I going to take? Week 11 of the NFL season is soon to be here. Predictions for the week. So starting off Thursday Night Football, we have a good matchup between the Ravens and the Bengals. Both teams coming off losses, both teams fighting for position in the AFC North. The Ravens had a massive collapse against the Browns, started off scoring 17 points, 14 points in the second half, but they gave up a lot of unanswered points. The Bengals coming off of a loss to CJ Stroud, the rookie, coming into Cincinnati and getting a win late versus the Bengals. Man, personally, I see the Bengals getting this job done. I feel like they have a little bit more of an edge underneath them. They're fighting from the bottom of the division, and they are trying to make their mark on the rest of the league. And they started a little bit of a win streak before losing to CJ Stroud, and I see them picking that back up versus the Ravens, making the AFC North even tighter than it already is. So next we got the Browns facing off against the Steelers at home. Steelers are coming off of a win against the Packers where Jaylen Warren finally rushed for 100 yards and Najee Harris had 88 yards, and it seemed like the Steelers offense did something. The Browns coming off of a comeback victory versus the Ravens where they started off slow and they ended hot. Now, personally, do I think the Steelers are going to run the ball the same way on the Browns? No. Do I think the Browns are going to have a little bit of an edge here? Yes. Am I biased? Probably. But the Browns have a lot more than the Steelers. Once again, we talked about the Steelers not having an identity. The Browns have started to find their identity. They're coming back into who they are by running the ball to help them open up the pass. So we need the Browns to get a win here for my sake, but also for the record's sake. So we taking the Browns here. So next, we got the Raiders facing off against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are coming off of a bye week, and they're one of the hotter teams in the league. The Raiders, who seem to have fired their GM and their head coach a couple weeks ago, have gone on a 2-game winning streak. But that I don't think they've beaten anybody. Who have they beaten? The Giants and the Jets. New York sucks, clearly. Dolphins are going to steamroll the Raiders. It shouldn't even be a question here. We're rolling with the Dolphins. Next, we got the Bears and the Lions in a nice division matchup with the Bears going over to Detroit. The arm wrestling champion and the Bears are not going to get it done. They don't have enough weapons. The Lions are firing on all cylinders. The Lions are going to go 8-2. When have we heard that? The Lions are going 8-2. We're taking the Lions here. So we got the Titans versus the Jags. Just like I said in my predictions last week, the Titans are not good, but the Jaguars aren't any better. Trevor Lawrence has all of these weapons and he does not know how to use them. But I see the Titans game being a good game for the Jags to find a little bit of their identity. The Titans give up a lot of receiving yards, and I see Trevor Lawrence having a little bit of a field day on that defense. We're going to roll with the Jags. Okay, so next we got the Chargers facing off against the Packers. Chargers have a high-power offense. Packers have no identity like a lot of teams in the league this year. We're just going to roll with the high-power offense of Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Okay, so next we got CJ Stroud, the rookie, facing off against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Kyler Murray came back for the first time off of his ACL injury last week, beating the Falcons 23-25. He looked pretty decent in his return to the NFL. But CJ Stroud in that offense has too many weapons, and they are going to handle the Cardinals. I personally think CJ Stroud could have another one of those 300-plus yard passing games versus the Cardinals. We're going to roll with Houston here. Next, we have the Cowboys facing off against the Panthers. The Cowboys are entirely too high powered for the Panthers. The Panthers are on the bottom tier of the league. Bryce Young has not been doing much in that offense, and just the entire team does not have enough pieces to compete at the moment. So we're going to roll with the Cowboys here. The Cowboys should win this game pretty handily. Now, next in the NFC East, we got the Giants facing off against the Commodores. The Giants have Danny DeVito starting at quarterback. The Commodores have been looking really good. They should not have lost last week to the Seahawks. They lost in a garbage time with a garbage time drive where they should not have let Geno and them drive down the field on them, and they just gave that game away. But I do see the Commodores controlling the game against the Giants and getting the win. The 49ers versus the Buccaneers are our next game. 49ers look really good with Chase Young in his first time suiting up for the 49ers. We're going to roll with the 49ers. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers, they just don't have enough in my eyes. So next, we got Bills and Jets. So earlier in the season, the Jets pulled off an immaculate win versus the Bills on an overtime punt return. That was also the same game that Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. Now, the Bills have been looking a little bit different as the season's been going on. They're actually 5-5 at the midpoint of the season. Who thought we would have seen that? But this is a good game for the Bills to get back rolling. The Jets defense just lost to the Raiders in a close game, and Josh Allen needs to find his weapons. This is a great bounce back game for the Bills. We're going to roll with the Bills to beat the Jets here. Next, we have another division matchup, Seahawks versus Rams. Seahawks are going to beat the Rams here. I don't know what is going on with the Rams. The Rams started off so hot early on in the season. Then Matt Stafford goes down and the identity of the team is gone. So we're going to roll with the Seahawks. Sunday night football, we have the Vikings going against the Broncos. Now, the Broncos are coming off an upset victory on Monday Night Football versus the Bills. The Vikings coming off of a nice win versus the Saints. Josh Dobbs, our astrophysicist genius, is taking the league by storm. I'm going to cut my eyebrows off just for Josh Dobbs. We love Josh Dobbs. We're rolling with the Vikings. And last, oh my goodness, we finally got a Monday night football game worth watching. And we got the banger of the year, the Super Bowl rematch. Eagles versus the Chiefs. Both teams have been rolling. Both teams coming off of a bye week. The Kelsey brothers, Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. Man, what can we say? The Eagles' offense has been rolling. A.J. Brown has been a big target for Jalen Hurts this year. DeAndre Swift has seemed to revitalize his career in Philadelphia. Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs have also been rolling. I'm so glad we have no reason to talk about Taylor Swift in this video. Oops. There it goes. Anyways, Pat Mahomes and the boys have been rolling. They're looking like the Super Bowl defending champs that they are. Now, in this game, who am I going to take? Come on, man. Y'all know we cannot bet against Pat. Are we insane? We're rolling with the Chiefs here, man. I would be a fool to bet against Pat Mahomes, even though I love the Eagles here, but we're rolling with the Chiefs here. And that's going to be it for my predictions for week 11 of the NFL season. Please leave a comment with what is your favorite matchup of the week. I'm going with the Chiefs and the Eagles. Everybody know that Super Bowl matchup is going to be a banger. Comment, what is your team going to do this week? Is your team going to get a dub? Last but not least, please be sure to share and like the video. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Always remember, never forget, it's above me.